My goodness, keep these people in mind that decided to lose the sacrifice and do what was right for the betterment of the community. If you got extra to give, give it. If you got something to share, share it. Reach out to these people and make sure that you don't leave them in the dark when they chose to do what was right for you and me while they lost their livelihood to it, right? We got to take care of these people. Why you would need the amount of toilet paper I see people buy is beyond me. Like, even if you used half the toilet paper you bought, you would have like no ass left. Like, literally, your whole ass would be gone. So know this, there's not a ton of tests. So if you're not feeling well or sick and haven't traveled internationally, they're not going to give you a test. And you know what that means? That means there's a multitude of people out there that are already infected. And some of these people are just carriers, younger people. Some of them don't even show symptoms. And that's great. If you're young and your body can take that and you don't get symptoms, great. And no matter how bad some of these people feel, when the flu tests come back negative, they still don't get a coronavirus test. There's just not enough to go around. So you understand, everybody should consider themselves a little bit to have potentially been exposed. So essentially, we're all out here spreading this when we're out and about. So I don't believe in panic, and I don't think you should freak out every chance you get. But the doctors, the leading experts that are telling us to stay indoors, they're not doing this because they're alarmist. They've been trained and they've had schooling and education to teach them about these situations. They're begging us to stay at home so they have a fighting chance to counteract this. So yes, you definitely got to stock up and you got to be mindful of how your sanitation is. Why you would need the amount of toilet paper I see people buy is beyond me. Like, even if you used half the toilet paper you bought, you would have like no ass left. Like, literally, your whole ass would be gone. I personally believe in an individual's right and ability to choose their level of endangerment. But here's where we got to draw the line, my peeps. I spent my life in the service industry, and I know what it's like to be homeless. And sadly, a lot of us are placed in between a rock and a hard place. We're forced to choose between losing our livelihood and possibly endangering somebody's life. And that's so tough. And most of us are people, you know? But when it's convenient, we tell each other all kinds of stuff. I'd give you the shirt off my back. I love my customers. I love my community. Whether you're a business owner or anybody in the service industry. That's what most of us tell ourselves. But most of us also can't stand to be told or called out when we've been selfish. When we are called out and asked to prove the morals that we say we stand behind, I believe that your opinion twists in order to free yourself from the responsibility of being exactly what you say you're not in those convenient moments. Yes, ain't no doubt about it, it's absolutely horrible. A lot of us might lose our livelihood. But that does not excuse knowingly going out and putting someone else's life in danger. No matter what you say you are when it's convenient, when you choose to be ignorant and not listen to what these experts tell you, you put somebody else's life in danger and you choose to potentially kill someone. You can think of that as an extreme vision, but at the end of the day, that's only you twisting the reality of it to okay the danger you're putting someone else in. Think about that. Think about your family unit. If you're the only one to not take it seriously, not only do you jeopardize the people that you say you love for your own selfish reasons, but you also take yourself away from being able to contribute to your family. Because if your family's on their P's and Q's, they're going to notice your ignorant behavior, and they're going to do everything they can to minimize your impact that you selfishly took upon yourself, and now your family too. Because individually, you got the right to choose your level of endangerment, but you don't have the right to go and make decisions knowingly, hiding behind your ignorance, justifying going out and not being stuck in the house to kill someone else, because that's what you're doing. Now, I say this because there's a lot of people talking out there, downplaying this, acting like this is a hoax while we got people out here dying. And if you're not one of the people that has symptoms, or you're not one of the people that get sick and dies from this, then good for you, that's great. But even the smallest chance that you can endanger or kill one of my loved ones because of your ignorant choices matters a lot to me. And I don't think my livelihood or yours is worth more than a human life when it comes down to it. So we've got to get together on this, people. We've got to get together on this as Americans and make sure that we're doing the best we can to stop the spread of this. And if we get in the house and nothing happens to us, that's exactly the point. And while you have to be quarantined with your family or do less outside, make sure that you got a positive attitude. Make sure you choose love instead of anger and frustration. Just because you're suffering from not being able to have what you selfishly want, or if you're just losing a lot, like some of us all, that doesn't give you the right to damage others and to force others to suffer your pain and frustration. So be stronger than that and use this opportunity to get back to basics, to get back to fundamentals, to listening to what your wife says, to actually letting your children be a part of the conversation, and getting back to the basics of what made you a family in the first place. This is a good moment for you to remind yourself why you go to work in the first place. And God willing, you'll learn a lot from it. Be safe and be healthy out there, peeps. And this ain't bad Kool-Aid. You ought to sip some. And my goodness, keep these people in mind that decided to lose the sacrifice and do what was right for the betterment of the community. If you got extra to give, give it. If you got something to share, share it. Reach out to these people and make sure that you don't leave them in the dark when they chose to do what was right for you and me while they lost their livelihood to it, right? We got to take care of these people. And you know what I say, it's always free to be kind.